I just dedicated so many hours and so much time into diving really deep into cryptocurrencies and understanding it and knowing what it is. And then I just saw this whole other vision. It just, you know, I came for the gains, but I'm staying for the freedom.
Welcome to the Drew Pearlman Show. Think of this podcast as the antidote to the fear, the noise, and the talking heads in the news. The show features an entertaining blend of ancient wisdom, empowering ideas, and cutting-edge, healthy living science to optimize your health and your life. All right, so let's dive in and get started. Today's guest on the show is Keon Hassan. And Keon is a creator, musician, record producer, and cryptocurrency enthusiast who believes there is more to life than meets the eye. Keon's intention is to assist in spreading the message and dreams of freedom to all whom he meets. His journey began with music in 2012, and he later began his cryptocurrency journey in 2017. Welcome to the show, Keon.
Thanks for having me, Drew.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be with you. And I'd love to just start by hearing a little bit about your journey, Keon, from music producer, the world of music, to literally becoming the crypto kid.
So I began my journey in 2012. When I was in high school, I started to DJ as just for fun. We were just joking around, me and my friends. Oh, it'd be cool if we started DJing. And I actually ended up getting pretty serious about it because I really enjoyed it. And I had a conversation. I made the demo tape, and then I had a conversation with this Iranian DJ who, has toured the world and all that good stuff. And he basically said, "Hey, Keon, if you want to know where the real money is at, you need to stop DJing and start producing." And he gave me the title of this book, Dance Music Manual. And in short, I ended up studying and started producing music since 2012. And after creating for a very long time, I realized that the artist road and path is not as glorious as everybody makes it seem. I think art is actually heavily commoditized and undervalued, even though it is one of the most valuable things that we have on the face of the planet, because it just inspires, heals, and we have so much fun with music. But my journey changed when I realized, okay, if I really want to do this, I need capital. I need money to fund my endeavors, because creating music, buying musical equipment, it's not a cheap hobby, especially if you are outsourcing mixing and mastering audio engineering services outside. And so besides 9-to-5 jobs, I became interested in the stock market because I just felt like there was money there to be made. And it's so interesting because everything, whether it's crypto or whether it's music, money was the first motive, but then it ended up being this whole other journey of discovering myself, my place in the world, and the values that I believe to be very important when it comes to dreams and freedom, whether it's financial freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom. And so I started getting into the markets. I started investing in cryptocurrency in 2017. In 2018, I met Greg through a mutual friend, and we just we just became close. And I asked him if he could teach me what he knows. Like I didn't even really know he was. And
Hey, Keon.
yeah,
Keon, for those listening, they may not know who Greg is. Just maybe set that up. Who is the Greg of whom you speak?
Gregory Mannarino is the owner of TradersChoice.net, which is a pretty amazing and a very decent sized following, worldwide following on YouTube. It's basically like a financial blog, and he really helps people get on the right side of the markets. And he does an excellent job, in my opinion, of telling people what's really going on behind the scenes so that we are at an advantage, not at a disadvantage when it comes to navigating the financial markets, the stock markets. And so I started getting into crypto, like I said, in 2017, but I was just buying and holding. December of 2020, I actually started trading crypto, and I moved fully from the stock markets to the cryptocurrency markets. And I just, in the stock markets, we see like a 4% gain and we're super happy and it's a good day. But it was not unusual in the cryptocurrency markets, even though it is very volatile, to see just 100% gains within a week. And again, like that was initially what drew me in. And I think that's what initially draws a lot of people in to crypto, is the quick turnaround on some of these cryptocurrencies. And so I just dedicated so many hours and so much time into diving really deep into cryptocurrencies and understanding it and knowing what it is. And then I just saw this whole other vision. It just, I came for the gains, but I'm staying for the freedom, that the vision of freedom that it has the potential to provide the world at large. And so I was just so enthusiastic, so passionate about cryptocurrencies. And and at this time I knew exactly what Greg was doing. He was doing really well with his YouTube blog. And I literally just came up to him and I said, hey, you really need to start covering cryptocurrencies on your channel. I think that would be like such an amazing, it would add so much value, so much more value than you already are providing for your channel. And, he always tell me, I don't know much about cryptos. I just know there's value in them and that I'm just buying and I'm holding. Like I'm not selling this at all. Like I'm just holding cryptocurrencies. But when I went up to him and I said that, he turned around to me, he's like, why don't you do it? And at the time I was kind of hesitant to take the opportunity. I was like, oh shit. Like that's actually, it was daunting. It wasn't like I questioned my confidence tremendously, whether I'd be able to hop on his platform and, help people out. But I saw it as a really good opportunity and I told him, okay, I would do it. And it just motivated me to just double, triple down on how much I was educating myself on cryptocurrencies. And not that I know everything, but I do my absolute best to stay ahead of this market and also help as many people as I can with it, because I don't have a regular 9-to-5 job. I just trade cryptocurrencies. And it has been, thankfully, a lucrative endeavor for me to be able to continue doing the things that I like music. And interestingly, where the two converged, music and cryptocurrencies was the idea of NFTs. When NFTs first started to hit mainstream media.
You know what, Keon, we're going to get to that. You've anticipated a few of my questions here. This is great.
Yeah,
Um, but just to
beautiful.
set this up again, Greg Mannarino has a very popular financial YouTube channel, and Keon has started now this very popular installment on the channel, and he's been dubbed the Crypto Kid, and Keon is doing a fantastic job. But
Thank you.
but Keon, you really set it up about this. Like, I love how you put it. You came for the return, but you stayed for the freedom. And I'd love you just
Yes.
maybe to speak a little bit more about, because this is what I really would love people to know is what is your vision of cryptocurrency, and why does it go way beyond financial, prosperity even? It seems to go way beyond that.
So decentralization is a very, very important vision to keep in mind when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Yes, there is centralization within cryptocurrencies, but mainly when you dive deep into the rabbit hole, you come across DeFi and the idea of decentralization a lot. So when there is usually a governing force dictating your life, there's not much freedom for you to uh, explore beyond the norm and really find out who you really are and what your needs are. And this is not just finance, like I'm just talking overall. Like when an individual is suppressed in any way, shape, or form, and any part of their freedom is thwarted, it's hard for that person to, it's really hard for that person to find themselves, let alone experience what it truly means to be free. And it's the same thing in the financial markets and just finance in general. Like, I feel like one of the unfortunate realities is a lot of people, they get stuck in the routine. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're expending so much of their energy in working, which is not a bad thing, because I honestly think we all got to start somewhere, and you got to do what you got to do. Like, their circumstances really differ. But when it comes to being stuck in that routine and given so much energy and time to something that is very finite, we are not able to go on the path and journey of self-discovery, usually until, again, unfortunately, moments or points of crisis or suffering where we are forced to go on that journey, on that path, and really increase our self-care and self-worth and self-understanding, and things of that nature. And so when it comes to cryptocurrencies, like I said, decentralization is the freedom of finding yourself through not one particular governing force, but through freedom to find your own path and avenue within a brand new set of rules that essentially you have the power to govern and create. And I know that was super deep. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that made sense. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw recently a video by Raoul Paul, the macro investor, and he's on a channel called Real Vision, and it was called The Exponential Age.
mm,
And he was just getting into this whole decentralized digital age of art and sort of what you were speaking to, Keon,
yeah,
music, finance, every area. And we're just moving into this, on the one hand, we have sort of a world that's sort of breaking down,
yes,
but we also have another world that's being built up. And it's kind of, I know you're really excited and
yes.
optimistic, Keon, about the future.
Very much so. Yes. And look, that was so on point. It's even proven through astrology. I mean, I love certain sciences. I do. I mean, I don't want to like really dumb anything down either in terms of like my truth. Like, uh, I follow a lot of things that are spiritual, and I do believe spirituality and science are on the same playing field. It's just going to take time for material science, earthly science, to catch up with the science of spirit and universal laws and principles that have always governed this earth. When it comes to astrology, this was even proven that the old is already crumbling, and the new officially began December 21st of 2020, which was dubbed the Great Conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius being just a super futuristic humanitarian sign, also ruling genius and, like I said, technology. And so it just a brand new cycle, 20-year cycle was started on December 21st of 2020. And so it starts as a seed, and the seed being decentralization and cryptocurrency and decentralized finance. And I guarantee in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we have completely anchored in this digital renaissance in all aspects of life, whether that's entertainment, art, or it's finance. And many people will have different opinions of this, but I think it's very, very inevitable, this change, this shift. And I call it the Renaissance for a reason, because it is literally the rebirth. This is a completely brand new set of rules that even our own government is trying to find regulations for, and see how, I mean, obviously, how they can capitalize and how they can have a piece of the pie. I hate to say this kind of stuff, but that's the honest truth.
Right,
But
right.
if they are smart, they won't. The regulations won't be so strict in the way that it thwarts innovation, and they'll benefit, and the world of cryptocurrencies will also benefit. And I don't think DeFi, decentralized finance, is going anywhere. The rules and regulations that do come to play will affect the centralized aspects of cryptocurrencies. But obviously, everybody's going to get there at some point, especially if you plan on realizing your crypto gains.
Mm. So Keon, talk about sort of the convergence of the music side of yourself and the cryptocurrency side. And you mentioned NFTs. And I know you were talking recently about creating some electromedicine music, which sounds absolutely fascinating to me. So
Yeah.
talk about this so for anybody that doesn't have an idea what, and I would have fallen into that camp a few months ago, but just tell us, what is an NFT, and what is this vision you have about electro medicine music NFTs?
Yeah. So when it comes to NFTs, stand for non-fungible tokens. Anything that's non-fungible is unique, irreplaceable. Uh, it's basically code on smart contracts on different blockchains, which allow for irreplicable pieces of media, whether it's art, music, pictures, trading cards. And smart contracts are very sophisticated pieces of code, so you can't replicate it. You can torrent or like go off like YouTube and like steal a song from YouTube by converting the YouTube video into an MP3, not many people would be able to tell the difference. You can replicate a card, like a trading card. I mean, if you're really good, you can pass it off, but if you aren't good, maybe people can tell. You can, take people's videos off of, the internet and create your own and say it's mine. People might not be able to tell, but when it comes to NFTs, non-fungible tokens, it runs on a smart contract, which is a complex code that can verify 100%, 10 out of 10 times, whether that piece is authentic or not. And so the value of NFTs and art in general is also in the scarcity of it. And obviously, if you're a really good artist, a well-known artist, the speculative amount of the art is high, as opposed to like, not a very well-known artist. So that's what NFTs are. And I absolutely, with a passion, I'll say it. I hated the music industry and just where it's at. It is so saturated, and they're literally paying artists just ridiculously low amounts of money when it comes to streaming, right? So we went from albums to iTunes to streaming, which essentially streaming is just the lowest amount of royalties paid out to artists. And it's just really hard as a creative to just make a decent living doing what you like and what you love. But when NFTs came around, it was so interesting because it first and foremost is decentralized, right? You're not worried about your piece of art being on a centralized platform. Also, these centralized platforms are saturated. Not to say that the decentralized platforms aren't saturated, but you can get so much more value off of what you are trying to sell. And let alone there are decentralized streaming platforms like Audius out right now that pay 90% of the royalties straight to the artist in forms of cryptocurrency, which is just amazing. This is good. This incentivizes artists to continue creating, right? If you're not getting any returns on your creations or anybody seeing them, it's so disappointing. I've dealt with that in my career, in the beginning stages of my career. It was just so disappointing. And, and the inspiration, it affects the inspiration that you have to continue creating. At least for me, it did. I don't know if others can feel the same. But anyways, the convergence point was when I started understanding that there are such things as NFTs and how they work. And the fact that I had a problem, right? It was a classic problem solution scenario. I just kept saying to myself, there has to be a better way. I was getting super creative when it came to releasing my albums. For example, I had I call them the keys to the Keon experience, for example. It was a USB key that had a keychain with a picture frame attached to it with like my logo on it, and it had my whole discography on there. So I had to get really creative to like sell my music physically and make some money, because digitally there was not much coming in. And so NFTs came around and I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool. And I'm going to get really creative with them. And electromedicine music is actually something I started last year when the pandemic hit. And it was basically the idea, and I have my whole, just so much philosophy around music and just also the nature of inspiration. And so when it came to my electromedicine music, I knew that music is the greatest form of medicine in the world, in my opinion. It's such a powerful form of medicine, and I do believe that it can physically heal people as well through the understanding of the use of different frequencies, um, and solfeggio frequencies and all this other amazing things that is attached to music, not just being an art, but also a science as well. And so electromedicine music, in short, was me tuning into a specific intention and then allowing whatever wanted to come through, whatever inspiration wanted to come through and create obviously something pleasing to the ears and something that has mental or physical effects on the body. And so I did that for a while, but unfortunately, I started getting busy with uh, life, and the pandemic was a very tough time for me, and I was just trying to stay afloat. Um, and so, basically, what I want to do with that is create the NFT versions of that, and it's so interesting too because I have the Matrix background on my videos for Greg's channel,
Right.
and I want to, and this all has to do with like it's like an Easter egg. Uh, it all has to do with my moniker as Kian the One, my producer moniker, and also the idea. Just The Matrix is my absolute favorite movie of all time,
Right.
right? And when Morpheus is talking to Neo and saying, "Take the blue pill," you go back to sleep, and then take the red pill, and you wake up, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. So with my NFTs, I really want to create like this cool like red pill that's like a digital red pill that's like kind of uh, rotating three-dimensionally, and then attach electromedicine music to that, uh, and just create different through specific intentions, and then create NFTs. And whether it's giving them away for free, which I do plan on doing when I hit certain milestones with my Twitter account, or if it's top-notch electromedicine music, I'll definitely uh, you know ask for like a cryptocurrency exchange for them. So
It's
that's
beautiful.
basically it. That's how those two converged, and I really enjoy creating music that is unique, and I think it'd just be such an amazing way to release music. And so,
Well, Keon, when it's ready, I want to be the first to check it out. I'm gonna be there because I
thank you.
want to hear this. It sounds amazing, and
Appreciate that.
yeah, oh, absolutely. So just a couple final questions, Keon. So I ask these questions to everybody, and I'm just curious, aside from, your background in crypto and music, what are some of the daily practices or rituals that you have to help keep you a little more grounded and peaceful?
Well, when I first wake up, I as soon as I open my eyes, I just give myself so much love. Like I just tell myself I love you like a lot. And like I feel that love like going through all parts of my body and being. And so I begin the day with self love. And then I have like a really nice altar space set up. And then it's facing east for many reasons. And the East is known to be a very spiritual, or the spiritual direction. They're all spiritual, but the East is very important. And I usually just pray. I just give gratitude. I give gratitude for everything that's in my life. And, I also begin with just surrendering after my gratitude. And I pray to God, and I give him my life, and I say, take, be my thoughts, be my words, be my deeds. And I just ask that I be guided throughout the day by the forces that be. And then I basically begin my day. And the other self-care thing that I really enjoy doing is just jogging or just going on walks. That's another big self-care. And I'm a pescatarian. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Keon, that's beautiful. What a way to start the day. That's incredible. So if you could go back in time, say 20 years or so, what words of wisdom would your current self share with your younger self?
It's interesting. Man, I'm going to say, and it's going to be cryptic, but I'm going to say, I would tell my younger self, you're going to find it. I would say you're going to find it. It's up to you if you want to know the context of that, but that's what I would say.
Cool. That works. The crypto kid is a little cryptic at the end here, and it is so beautiful. Keon, this was a pleasure. First of all, where can people go if they want to learn more about you? They want to learn more about cryptocurrency. Where should they go to find you?
I would say first, overall, my website, KionTheOne.com, KIANTHEONE.com. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagrams are a little different. KIANTHE, the number 1 NE. On Twitter, I post a lot of crypto stuff. On my Instagram, it's more like personal life. And then on Gregory Mannarino's channel, every Saturday, just type in Gregory Mannarino, Crypto Saturdays. I'm on there talking in depth about what's going on in the world of cryptocurrencies throughout the week. And so I definitely, that one is a must. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Keon, this was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for listening to the Drew Pearlman Show. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. In the words of Mark Twain, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the things you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, and catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore, dream, discover, and stay well, everyone.